morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good day. You stay in there, Philomena. You stay. She ran out. She doesn't listen to me. So we're going to do a seed roll update. Good morning, everyone. This is Jamaica with Jamaica Life. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Spring is here in Texas. It's beautiful, beautiful. Starting to bring my plants out. But this video is on the seed snail update. Does it work? I don't know. You decide. So here is my set. This is the first one I planted, which was corn. I don't know if I did this on camera or not, but it's doing fine. I'm hardening these off. Actually, they're hardened off, and it is doing very, very well. There is a caveat to this method with the cardboard that I want to talk about, because there was something that happened that I didn't particularly care for. So I changed my method. So you all know that I use a plastic bag on top of the seed snail roll, right? Like this, as a humidity dome. And I rolled it in cardboard and plastic. So here is the zinnias. So the zinnias, the seeds were, this is not the seed snail roll's fault. The zinnias were old seed, but they're coming up and they're doing just fine. The thing I want to talk about is when you roll it with the plastic, cardboard, and the soil, when you put the humidity dome on, the cardboard, especially indoors, if you're doing indoors, molds. So I don't recommend using the cardboard. Although it makes it easier to plant out in the future, it's not good for you to inhale. All three of these have cardboard in it. This is the Swiss chard right here. You see how that works? And this method saves so much space. The Swiss chard is doing fine, and it's outside. Need to give them a little bit of water because this thing is a little dry, as you can tell, right? But they're all doing very well in the seed snail roll. I am bottom watering, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of help on top also, because I see a couple of them in here that need some water on top. Another thing I like about the seed snail roll is that it does not require you to buy a lot of material. You can use what you have. Recycle. That's what I do. We all have hard plastics in our house, whether we know it or not. Whether it be a rice bag or a feed bag or a dog food bag, those bags can be used. And that's what I do. I take my chicken feed bags and I cut them into 6 to 8 inch strips. So let's go to the new one that I did without cardboard. Initially, I transplanted some tomato plants, some cherry tomato plants into the seed snail roll, and they dampened off. Look at that. So I don't know about that. So I just replanted seeds, and look at that. They're all coming up, and these seeds came up so quick. So it replaced these. You know, I was so sad about that, but look, I have more. They germinated so quickly. I always feel like somebody's watching me. So, Miss America, how'd you do it? How did you create the seed snail roll? Well, you'll be surprised, because we gonna do it right now. Ready, set, go! So, how do we do it, huh? How do you do it, America? How do you do it? What you need is a string, some soil, and some plastics. Preferably some plastic, with plastic that can stand on its own, like a rice bag or a feed bag or dog food bag. The thicker the plastic is better. I have some, I didn't bring it out here. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let's start this thing over again. All right. So we need some plastic, preferably some plastic that it can stand its own. Something that can stand up like that. Don't use that willy-nilly stuff, like a paper towel. I mean, you could try it. I don't know. I've never tried a paper towel, but I don't think it'll work out well. So I didn't try it. Something with some depth. I believe in recycling. You also need a string. I got this from a bale of hay that I use. I try to reuse as much as possible. Don't just throw your stuff out. This is going to save you some space as well as some money on pots. These little pots that we have, that we buy, you don't have to have that with the seed snail roll. And you already have the plastic. You can use a rice bag What else has hard plastic? There's a couple of things that we buy that has harder plastic. Just use that. Just use what you have. And the string, I mean, we get things that are tied up all the time, so I'm using that. So you roll out your plastic, right? Let me open this thing up. Forget it. I'm not gonna open it up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it with my dull scissors. Here we are. And I'm not making a very big one. I'm gonna leave that alone. So we have our plastic rolled out. We have our string. Put that aside because that's gonna be last. Let me get this scissors away from me also. I don't need no mishaps. So we have to get some soil. Get some potting soil or some compost. And of course your seed. I've been soaking some, what are these, sugarcane seeds. And just put a thin layer of soil from bottom to top. Centipede. From bottom to top on this thing. And that's why we're doing it outside, because I'm tired of making a mess inside. I'm tired of making a mess. Make sure you get enough soil on there, and make sure that your soil is wet. Wet. And it doesn't have to be thick. It just has to be wet, and make sure that there's soil on the top and the bottom. Spread it out. So a lot of us are having problems with the soil falling out of the bottom. There is absolutely nothing you can do about that. Just stuff it back in there. If it falls out from the bottom when we roll it up, and you'll see that in a minute, if it falls out, because this is really wet. It rained on this potting soil, or this compost. I think this is compost. So this is stuff is basically mud, and I'm breaking it apart, right? And I'm making a thin layer. A thin, as even as I can possibly get it. And if there's any clumps, I'm just going to break those up and pat them down. Even if your soil has to extend past the bottom of your roll, or past the top of your roll, you're better off doing that than not having enough soil in there. So I'm just spreading it out. This also saves you soil, because you're just doing a thin layer. You're not having to fill a bunch of pots. You get your seedlings planted, and I forgot the plastic. I'm gonna need a plastic for a plastic dome, but I'll go and get that in a minute. So I'm spreading this thing out. I don't want to go past the top. The top I'm not too much worried about. It's the bottom part that I'm worried about. I need to know where the top is. So I'm gonna bring it up to the top, but the bottom, try to get as much soil on the bottom as possible, because I'm telling you, it's gonna fall out. Just make a little hill on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna move you over, seed snail, and we're gonna put some more on there. All right, I may not be able to fill the whole thing. I don't really care. I'm just trying to go not to the end of the roll, but to the end of the table. Y'all heard me say that last time, right? I'm breaking this soil up. I'm trying to get it even across from top to bottom. Just a thin layer. Thin layer of soil. Top to bottom. Wet soil. Okay. Okay, I got a little bit more left. Let me move this out your way so y'all can see. I have quite a bit of sugarcane seeds. I had a problem with them germinating, so I soaked them. I soaked them for 2 days, and now they're sprouting. So I'm gonna put the little sprouts in here and see what happens, huh? You could do this with regular seed also. You don't have to sprout it like I did. Just put your seed in there, put your soil down, and here we go. So I'm at the end of the table, right? So I'm gonna slide this across, and I'm gonna start putting soil all the way across. These seeds are not that big, so I'm gonna put it about 1/4 inch. Depending on the type of seed, it's how deep you bury it. Some seeds have to be buried at 1/2 inch or more. Some seeds right on top of the soil. This one is kind of in between, so I'm gonna take it and I am going to sprinkle it across about 1/4 of an inch from the top. Move it up. And if they get all bunched up, I'm just gonna move them. Just gonna move them. I don't want any exactly on top because then they'll just topple over, but I don't want them too far down. See that? Taking my fingertip. I'm not a gloves person, but my hands have been getting really hard, so I'm trying to mitigate it before it gets too bad. I don't want cracky hands. So I'm just spreading these seeds out, right? With my glove. It's easier for me. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take these off. Oh, I had a seed on my hand. I'm gonna take these off, at least one glove. One glove, one glove. You're lucky Jesus had just one glove. And I'm taking these seeds and I'm spreading them out. Some are stuck together. I don't know how that happened. Let them stay together if they won't be together then. All right, I'm just moving these around. Patience, patience. The patience of a gardener. They say a patience of a saint, but I think it should be the patience of a gardener and a saint. Gardener after saint. I want God to get me. Put one seed here. One seed here. And see, they are sprouting. See that? They're already sprouting, so that's good. I know that they germinated. I know that it's not going to be the seed if something happens. It's going to be something else. Oh, I dropped one. No seed left behind. All right. And you see it's kind of dense, right? Okay. Move this down. I'm just taking them all the way in. Sticking them in. Now I have more seed than I need. I'll take these out. They didn't sprout. Take this one out. It didn't sprout because I have too much seed in here. I'm doing too much. All right. Usually people say that about other people, but no, I'm doing too much. I know how to check myself. All right. Get that off. All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. Just get the seed in there. We got a couple more. Them birds are screaming. They ain't crowing nothing. These birds have their own little life, their own little community. I think they do it more when I'm out here because I'm the marshal. I'm the chicken marshal. All right, so I'm all the way to the end of the row, right? And let's get to rolling. Okay, I'm gonna turn it this way. You don't need to see that thing. And you take your seed snail roll, right? You start rolling. Remember where your top is, right? Remember where your top is. Our top is that way. I'm gonna keep on rolling lightly. Make sure I don't slant it. Make sure that I keep it even. All right. You see, I put too much soil on the edge, but that's okay. We're gonna get that off. Keep on rolling. And then I'm gonna slide it closer to me. Keep on rolling. I think I want to put a little bit more soil here. A little bit more. Wait a minute. I have to use it anyway, huh? Put another layer right there at the end. Just for general purpose. All right. Gonna keep on rolling. All right. Take the edge, pull it up, right? Then we're gonna take some string, put it underneath, All right. All right. Push that in. Gonna take this. Gonna cut it. Gonna tie it up in a bow tie. We're gonna get another piece. And this is just twine from a hay bag, hay bale. That's all it is. I ain't spend no extra money on none of that. You know, you don't need to have a lot of money in order to garden. And this just proves it. Take another piece of string, even yarn. I've used yarn because I crochet. Use that. You don't have to use a feed bag. Use whatever bag you want to use, whatever plastic you want to use. And maybe there's another material that you can use that I don't know about. This is just my way. There's no perfect way. And I didn't come up with the seed snail roll method. I watched a lot of people who did this before I did it. And I'm gonna take it. Now, I have plants in this thing, right? And I need to put this in this tub. These plants can go somewhere else. I got some more tubs somewhere else. It's super hot out here in Texas, by the way. I'm sweating. And these I'm gonna plant the traditional way, the way I normally plant. But this is gonna become the way I normally plant. This is soon becoming my go-to method for plants and seeds. So I got all this extra material here, right? I'm gonna pat it on the bottom, right? Pat it in. You see that? And because it's mud, it's basically mud, solid mud, not that runny kind. It's easy for me to get it in there. And you want to get as much soil in here as much as possible, because these plants are going to stay in here. You're never going to have to transplant them. There are some people who just unroll it and put more soil in there if it seems like the plant needs more soil, because the plants basically eat the nutrients and the soil just disappears after a while. I see that happening with my trees that are in pots. So I got all that in there, right? Not too much of a mess, right? Let me pull this closer, move this tomato plant out of the way. I don't want to hurt my back. Move this, slide this over, pull this here, take these plants out. There's already water in the bottom of this reservoir, right? I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna flip it over. And I'm gonna pat it down on top. So I see some seeds, and I'm just gonna try to find the variegated, the plastic, and work along that line. If you have plants that don't have a delineating line in between, and sometimes the roots can jump, we don't want that. We want them to stay in their row. So I'm just moving some of this stuff aside so that I can see the plastic. Right. And there we are. Done. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get some plastic for the top, for the humidity dome, and we'll be done here. Here's the plastic, right? Hope I don't have dirt on my face, guys. If I do, forgive me. I just take my plastic and I put it over it. And that is it. That's my humidity dome. I'm gonna tie it off so it doesn't fly off. Well, I could pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down. The only thing, you know, with the plastic is that it's, you know, it's kind of willy-nilly, right? Y'all see that? But it's okay. It's doing what it's supposed to do, which is humidity. It's keeping the humidity in so that I can continue to bottom water. And that is the snail roll method. We're done. We're out of the heat. The snail roll is done. I showed you what it can do as well as how to do it. Do not be afraid to try new things and to listen to different people from anywhere, any country, anywhere, because there are people who are coming up with methods to save us time, money, and space. A lot of us gardeners, we don't have a lot of space. We don't have acreage, or some of us do. A lot of us don't. We have small yards and we have small grow stations in the house. I know I do. I have a small grow station in the house, and that is how I plant my stuff. I use every area of my house. You see that? That's slips. If you didn't know, I'm down to earth. And I do not discriminate against gardeners. Gardeners are trying. These are people. We are people who are trying to do something for ourselves. And there is no shame in that. We need to all learn from each other and appreciate each other's talents. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank you guys so much for helping me, especially the ones who did the snail rows before me. I learned so much from you guys, and I'm just passing it along so that other gardeners can also experience and learn how to do things more efficiently. So you may ask, do I recommend the seed roll? Yes. This is a break in the gardening community to me because I did not know about it, and it's been around for a while. You never know what you don't know until you find out that you didn't know it. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Do your seed snail roll. Do your seed snail roll, people. Bye.